Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing another Halloween set. I'm so excited that we're so close to November now. I am literally buzzing to start the Christmas sets. So I hope you guys are all down for that, because as soon as the 1st of November hits, you are getting straight Christmas sets from me. I'm joking, they're not going to be just Christmas sets, but yeah, there's gonna be quite a lot and I'm super excited. I am just buzzing. So going back to the video, because it is a Halloween video today, we've got quite a lot going on actually. We're going to do some foils, we've got some crystal placements, we've got some stamping as well, we've got some reverse stamping too. So it feels like we're combining a lot of different techniques, ideas for nail art and just putting it and chucking it into one nail design. So although it's Halloweeny, it is fairly like more on like the cuter side. It is purple and the Halloween like designs themselves aren't like scary, so you could say it's like a very nice little happy Halloween nail design. So when it comes to the base colors, we've got of course some white here, and we also have a purple from Madam Glam, and we're also going to use some nude, which I'm desperately running out from. I have like a few nail designs that I need that specific gel polish, and I've completely run out now. Like, that's long gone. I have ordered, they still haven't arrived yet. So I have been kind of digging through my collection to see if there's like a different nude as close as possible to this shade, and I have found one actually, Vanillisa in the shade Nude. Actually, yeah, it's called Nude. It's fairly similar. It's not definitely 100%, you know, identical, but it's similar enough where if I use it, I will almost not see a difference. It's almost like one shade is ever so slightly warmer and the other one is ever so slightly cooler, so it's fine, we can work with it. So I can carry on bringing out all those designs that I've had already pre-planned for you all, which is great. So now I've applied 2 layers, but they haven't been cured just yet. I am going to sprinkle on some of this glitter, of course. Finally some glitter. Feels like I voiced a few videos now and they have not had glitter. So we're back to it with my full sugared nail, which I always love doing. It's my go-to kind of nail art design. So that has now all been cured. So now that it's back, we're going to do 2 nude nails that are going to be basically identical. So we're doing a French tip. It feels like I've been doing a lot of French tips recently, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm looking down and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nail designs in front of me, and they all somehow, at least one of them, end up having a French tip. So I'm sorry if you're not into French tips. It was clearly a vibe for me recently. I haven't even noticed. If I've noticed earlier, I would have tried to avoid French tips. But at least they're all slightly different. Like, I have done like today, for example, this French tip is going to have some transfer foil on, and like the other nail designs don't have that, and other French tips are sugared and others are not. So they are a little bit different, but still at the end of the day, it's a French tip. So here I didn't want to be wasting time, so I went and picked up my brush from the bottle, and I'm just picking it up from the plate. I clearly placed way too much as usual, so I'm just going to use it to colour it in, make it all nice and quicker, and we're repeating this exact thing for the other nail as well. So whilst they are curing, I'm going to work on my white nails. So this one is going to be probably the hardest, probably the hardest to actually get the nail lines straight. So I'm using, you probably want to use a way longer nail art brush than I'm using to do this, but this is the longest nail art brush that I currently have in my collection. So I have to make do with what I got. So you want to kind of create this vibe where you've got like a white line, then you've got a purple line and a white line and a purple line, but the lines are fairly fixed. So that's why I'm doing double lines next to each other, which we are going to colour in. So I ended up doing that off camera. Here we are. Almost looks like a little prison. Like the purple lines are the bars. So now that that's all been cured, I'm going to place some Macart transfer foil gel onto my little plate, and then using my nail art brush, or before using my nail art brush, I'm going to use some of my Miley nail prep and polish wipe liquid, and I'm going to place on a lint-free wipe, and I'm going to use that to get rid of all the tacky layer. This liquid is literally a godsend to me. I use it for everything, cleaning my nail art brushes, wiping away tacky layers. That's the liquid I also use when doing 4D carving gel nails. I use that to kind of make sure my silicone tool is not getting sticky and won't get stuck to the carving gel that I'm using. So it's literally my go-to. I use it every single day, like all the time. So I highly recommend getting it. I will leave all the links in the description to as many products as I can that I've used in today's video. So this is probably going to be the fairly, not tricky, it's a bit like time consuming, but you really want to make sure you're only putting that transfer foil gel on the front tip only. And you also want to make sure you don't put too much of it on, because the amount of times I've cured this transfer foil gel and I've just placed way too thick of a layer and it ends up kind of wrinkling under the lamp, which is just a biggest pain. So try and kind of work with thin layers. And just to mention, the reason I have wiped the tacky layer off is because the transfer foil is going to transfer on tacky layers. So even though if you didn't wipe it, there could have been a risk that some of that foil would transfer onto the nude, which is, it's not the end of the day, because you could have just wiped away any of the image that they transfer onto the nude because it's not cured, which is great, but I just wanted to avoid additional work later on, plus it will ruin an area of the foil where you could have used it later on a different nail design. So whilst that is curing and then cooling down in the background, I'm going to do some of that stamping. So this is my plate that I'm using today. I'm going to pick up this kind of coffin design with some spider web, and then this is the bit we're going to do some reverse stamping. So I've got this sparkly, shimmery, dark purple-ish color that's also like a stamping polish, and then using a nail art brush, I'm just going to kind of dab away / color in the coffin on my little stamper. So I do show you just a slight bit of that, and then I do go off camera because it's just kind of time consuming, and it's literally what you see here. Just keep repeating, just color in, be preferably as precise as possible. I don't personally like when people do reverse stamping and they just go completely out of the line and just really ruin the image, in my opinion. But maybe that's the kind of the vibe you might be going for, then that's fine. It's just not my cup of tea. I prefer when it's a bit more kind of elegant looking, I guess. It's just, you know, in line. So this is what it's looking like there. I also coloured in those little bones with some white. So I still felt like this set was too bare for me. So I had this little image in the corner, kind of spider webby. It kind of looks like spider web. I think it is spider web. And I'm going to place that image top left hand side and then bottom right hand side. So place that there, and then we're going to repeat that same process. I wipe my plate with acetone. So there's me applying some acetone. The acetone I've got at the moment is actually from Glitterbels. So I use my Glitterbels acetone, and then I use a lint roller to get rid of any images that have just kind of, I either just don't need anymore on my stamper, or, you know, any residue that might have been there. I use my lint roller to get rid of them. And here I'm just getting rid of any of the excess that I don't need, and then I'm placing it at the bottom right hand side. There we go, and that's one nail done. We've basically almost finished. So we've got to do the transfer foil, which you will see was so easy that because I've left it to chill in the background, it was a godsend to transfer the foil. So here, as you can see, I'm not worried that the transfer foil is touching the nude part of the nail, because it's just not going to transfer, which is great. I mean, you know, there's always that little risk, but at least then it's just that little bit that did, rather than like the whole image and you have to faff about. And if you did transfer, I'd once again pick up my Miley liquid, pop it onto a lint-free wipe, and I would just wipe away on that nude area with the wipe, and it would come off. So that's what I've done in the past as well. And I've got 2 of those nails. We've got a fairly simple crystal placement. It's not my most proudest crystal placement, but I tried to create something of my own and put together a bow and some flowers and all sorts of random things that I thought would look good. So that's what we've basically ended up having today. So I'm just going to finish that one up. And then, yeah, then it's just the crystal placement. But before the crystal placement, we might end up placing some matte top coat already and then working on our crystals later. Although if you're doing it for a client, I'd recommend placing the crystals down first and then doing a matte top coat later on. So here is the matte top coat. I'm using the Venalisa matte top coat that I got forever, and I have it forever, ever, because I have the refillable bottles. So I'm going to have it forever. ever. So I'm just gonna wipe it all around. I always like to kind of float my top coat on top of the the stamped images, just to prevent any issues. And then I'm going to pop it into the lamp with top coats as well. I like to pop it in for about 60 seconds just to, I don't know, it just makes me feel 100% sure that the image has been kind of like secured and it won't be moving anywhere after. So this is the matte nails now. So the 2 French tip nails and the 1 full nude nail is going to have some crystal placements to go. And here I felt so prepared for today's video. I already picked out the crystals that I wanted to use exactly on my little my little plate. And I'm going to place it down. So if I just bring it towards me, that nail in particular, we're going to start off with applying our rhinestone glue gel, which mine is from McCart, and I'm going to start off with an AB crystal. It's like a somewhat of a small one. Then I'm placing a purple bow that I was dying to use. I was literally just desperate to use it. Then I've got this little diamond shaped AB crystal. Then here I'm going to place flowers, and then I'm placing this very long AB crystal, and that's it. So I'm going to place 2 more flowers, 1 on either side of that diamond. And then I think I'll go ahead and off camera apply the caviar beads. I didn't really want to bore you. It's not too much going on really. I've just kind of placed the caviar beads in the center of the flowers, and then 1 I think right at the top and 1 right at the bottom, and that's it really. So yeah, this crystal placement's a bit poor, to be honest. I think I could have done better. Way better, but it, you know, it's a learning curve when you try to do your own crystal placements together, and one day, you know, it works and the other it doesn't. So today is one of those days, but I feel like it's still not the worst. Enough where I was happy to leave it. But yeah. So now that that's kind of chilling in the background, for the French tip nails, I've just decided to do a super easy crystal placement. I had these opal crystals that I love, so I'm placing like the largest size that you want in the center of those, and I'm going to follow it up with a slightly smaller size on either side of the main crystal that we've placed there. So we've got 3 crystals all together on each of the French tip nails. If you wanted to jazz up even more, you could put caviar beads in between those crystals, which I decided not to today. I was clearly just avoiding the caviar beads because even on the middle nail we just placed like 3 or 4, so it wasn't really anything crazy. Here they are all done, and here is the final result. So I hope you guys liked it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I would love to see you all in my next video. Bye guys!